Rogers TV. This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello and welcome to HealthLink, a program connecting home, community, and healthcare. My name is Carol Merton, and today I am delighted to welcome two guests to our program, Kayla Sales and Kelly Mbakotoku. Kelly, you'll have to correct me on that. I did practice before we taped, but if I got it wrong, please. I want to welcome both of you to the program. You're both health promoters, from what I understand, and you are from Grey Bruce Public Health. The topic we're going to be discussing today is Fall Prevention Month and also age-friendly communities. And I'm going to be really fascinated on how those two are connected. I think I might know, but certainly will want to hear more from you. I want to thank you also for sending me the questions that you'd like to answer ahead of time. And we'll certainly go through those because I think there's some really important information that we want to share with our public today. So thank you both. And I'm wondering if you want to just tell our audience, our listening and viewing audience, a little bit how long you've been at the health unit or public health. And then we'll just go right into the first question about falls, which is what is the burden of falls in Grey Bruce? So who'd like to introduce themselves in more detail first?
Sure. I can start out, Carol.
Okay.
So yes, as Carol mentioned, my name is Kayla Sales. I'm a health promoter here at Grey Bruce Public Health. I've been at Grey Bruce Public Health for about 5 years now. So I started peak COVID-19 pandemic, and I've been here ever since. My work has transitioned a little bit from different portfolios, but right now I'm working in the built environment. So that's where that age-friendly communities piece falls in. And then I'll let Kelly introduce herself, and then we'll get into that burden of falls here in Grey Bruce.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Carol, for the introduction. As she mentioned, my name is Kelly Mbatogu, and I'm also a health promoter here at Grey Bruce Public Health. And I've been here for just about 3 months, so very new. And getting acquainted with my role, and I'm taking over the injury prevention profile. So that's where the whole fall prevention piece comes in, and where a focus area of my topic will be mainly focused on. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you both. So what do you mean about a burden of falls?
Yeah.
What does that word mean?
So burden would essentially, in this case, mean how many there are.
Okay.
So how burdensome the issue of falls are within our community. So we know that falls are the leading cause of unintentional injuries here in Grey Bruce. Of course, there's lots of different hospitalization data which helps to inform that. So just looking at our statistics in 2023, that's our most recent hospitalization data that we have, there was approximately 9,000 emergency department visits and about 800 hospitalizations due to falls just here in Grey Bruce alone. We know that in Canada, it's approximately 1 in 3 older adults aged 65 and older, and about half of those aged 80 and over that fall at least one time per year. Now, part of those numbers also is that women are 3 times more likely than men to be hospitalized from a fall. So to kind of just paint a picture, we know that, our baby boomers are getting older. They're mostly in that age group, right, are 65 and older. We know that that number of seniors is only expected to double in the next 10, 15 years. So we know that there's going to be more and more people experiencing falls going forward. So we're here to kind of provide a little bit of a base knowledge in order to help prevent those injuries from happening in the future.
So there are such things as preventable falls. That's really what you're saying, that there are things that people can do to actually prevent a fall. So I will interject with questions if you don't mind. And I know public health is very statistically informed, which is wonderful, but it's not a trick question, I promise. So here in Grey Bruce, how do we compare? I mean, when I hear you say the number of emergency visits and hospitalizations, that sounds really high. Are are we higher than other areas in Ontario? Like, where do we compare?
So for emergency department visits, we are at the higher end. I believe it's about 1.5 times higher than the Ontario average. However, for hospitalizations and deaths, we are lower than the Ontario average. We're on the lower end. So though people are going to the emergency department, they're being seen, they're not having to stay over time to recover from falls, and we're experiencing fewer deaths, which is good news.
Now, can you tell me why women more than men? That really piqued my curiosity.
I think it's twofold. Women are more likely to have issues with bone density than men, and also more likely to go to the hospital when they have sustained an injury. I know, speaking from my own experience in my life, yeah, that seems to be true, hold true.
Yeah. So let's really drill down a little bit more about the common causes of falls. I'm assuming there's many, but what are the most common ones?
Yeah, so about 50% of falls result in individuals being hospitalized, and these typically occur at home, typically in bathrooms and stairs, and not notable of the areas are notable areas for older adults to experience falls, and this is typically due to slipping, tripping, or stumbling. So that being said, a lot of things can cause a fall essentially. You could be biking and hit a rock, walking or hiking on ice and easily slip, or even your foot can get caught on a charging cord and you fall in your own home. So falls can essentially happen anywhere and everywhere. Um, yeah, so that's about it.
And as we move forward, because obviously I want to know how to prevent a fall, but I also had pulled out a recent news release because you have tips for reducing falls during the winter. And since we're taping this as the winter is approaching, I'd appreciate certainly learning more about your tips that you've suggested in your news release as well. So you mentioned the impacts of falls, both long and short term, and I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind just explaining a bit more what you mean long and short term, not just for time frame, but impact.
Yeah. So some of those shorter term impacts are those kind of surface level injuries. So you might have a little bit of pain from the fall, bruising, fractures, things that you expect will improve over the next few weeks, maybe months' time. But then those longer term impacts are the things that you don't necessarily think of when you think of a fall, but the things that are maybe going to limit your activity in the future and cause a cycle of maybe decreasing functional ability. So those things could be the need for surgery, physical therapy, pain medications, things that require that lifestyle change.
Yeah.
So those are those longer term impacts. So if you need to change your housing, if you need to change your care schedule or involve more people into your care circle, I guess would be a good way of saying it. If you need occupational therapists or PSW support, nursing support more often, it would be a longer term impact.
Now, there is a really, not to be negative, but from what I've read, falls can actually reduce life duration as well. Like the falls are significant and serious for some. So, and you talk about hospitalization, change of lifestyle, but it also can impact the length of life and the lifetime as well, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Once you experience one fall, you're twice as likely to fall again. So it is really important to make those changes if you have had a fall, whether that's to, your personal lifestyle, maybe adding more strengthening exercises or changing your environment. So removing any tripping hazards or kind of, setting yourself up for success, I guess, is the best way to think of it, right? To put that positive spin on it. You want to make your environment as safe as you need it to be for your personal situation. So if you have a walker or mobility aid, you want to make sure that you have enough space to get around in your home, to do the things that you enjoy doing.
So these are some things that people can do at home to reduce falls. Kelly, did you have anything to add? Because I have a question that I want to ask.
Yeah, so in terms of individuals in their home to reduce falls, they should be aware of any hazardous ob objects that may be in their way. So getting rid of like tripping hazards, such as wires that are loose on the floor, making sure those are tucked away properly, and then also ensuring that visibility is available in the home. So what I mean by that is ensuring that there's proper lighting in the home, whether you're trying to get around in the evening or at nighttime, trying to go to the bathroom, just ensuring that the light switches are also accessible, and to ensure that your visibility is not impaired to
Yeah.
avoid those falls. So those
Yeah.
are some little ways you can adjust your home settings.
Well, the lighting issue is important because
Yeah.
as people age and their vision changes, you want to use every opportunity that you can see your way if your vision has changed. So here's my question. Many people love scatter rugs. They just love scatter rugs. What do you say to people who say, I won't trip over my scatter rug. I know where it is.
Yeah. That's great. I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes it adds warmth to your space, right? I'm a big fan of rugs in my own home. But over time, sometimes those corners do start to roll up and they do catch. So if you must have your scatter rugs, make sure you have something on the back that makes sure that's secure to the floor so it doesn't move when you're stepping on it. And, over time, those corners don't roll up on you and trip you.
Yeah. So you had mentioned exercises and you mentioned strengthening exercises. How would people find out what exercises to do, or do you have any resources they could access for exercising?
Yeah, I can take this one if you want, Kelly. So there's lots of different opportunities within our community to join different exercise classes for older adults. The VON runs great ones. A lot of the family health teams also have like boosting balance exercise classes. What we recommend is to try to aim for 30 minutes or more each day, at least 5 days a week, of moderate to vigorous activity. And you can do things that you already enjoy. So if you like walking or gardening, bicycling, swimming, as we get into the winter months, maybe you like cross-country skiing or snowshoeing. Those are things that you can kind of incorporate already into your day. If you can do it with a friend or a family member, that kind of makes it a little bit easier. You can chat while you're out and about and enjoying the beautiful scenery here in Grey Bruce. Something else to consider is to look at having an occupational therapist or physical therapist kind of look at your range of motion, and then see if there's anything that they would recommend for you, if you have that option available to you.
Now we live in a rural area, and sometimes transportation is a challenge for people. It's always good. We are often social people and we need that community connection. But for people who live and in a rural area can't get, are there any virtual exercise classes or anything they could use to Zoom in like we're doing today?
We don't offer it here at the health unit, but there are organizations that do virtual calls. And there's also on YouTube, there's quite a few of those walking tours that I've been able to see. So you can even walk through different historical landmarks,
Oh my goodness.
just walking on the spot, or if you have a treadmill at home.
Yeah.
And those are great opportunities to maybe have a different point of view while you're walking around,
Yes.
or if
Yeah.
the weather's bad and you can't get out, even if you are located in one of our urban centers.
Yeah.
That's kind of a great option to have at home.
So Kelly, if I happen to fall, what should I do? Or if I observe someone who's falling?
Yeah, certainly. So if you've fallen yourself per se, number one, it's important to tell someone. Even if you haven't hurt yourself, let's say you've witnessed a fall, always tell somebody and get the help you need, the appropriate help you need.
Yeah.
Help can mean different things to different people. It could mean removing hazards in the home or even in your environment. So getting that assistant to come in and help in that way is important once you've let them know. And then it may even entail a medication review or change in vision prescription, or it could mean an assistive device such as a walker or a cane, or even moving into a facility that can provide more care. Yeah.
So the important thing is not to ignore it, to speak up
Yes,
about it and to seek help.
exactly.
Now, Fall Prevention Month is a month dedicated to informing people and fall prevention. We're in Fall Prevention Month, right? October?
November, yeah.
November. This is November already. I'm a month behind. My producer will be shaking his head. Tell me about November as Fall Prevention Month.
Yeah. So Fall Prevention Month is kind of a national awareness month for fall prevention. It's sponsored by Parachute, which is a national injury prevention charity here in Canada. And the campaign is to spread awareness about the burden and the impact of falls, but also to promote strategies for people of all ages and for healthcare providers to help prevent injuries from falls.
Now, that leads me to the next category, and that is about age-friendly communities. I've been hearing that term more and more. So it's interesting you've got fall prevention and age-friendly communities linked together. So fill me in. What is an age-friendly community? How's it linked together?
Yeah, so age-friendly communities is basically a concept that's encouraging active aging within the community by optimizing opportunities for health, participation, and that social interaction among all different age groups, just to enhance quality of life throughout the ages as we age within our community. So that's kind of how it ties in. Fall prevention would fall under that. If we're socially engaged, we feel supported within our community. Hopefully, we're making spaces accessible for everyone of all ages, and that in turn should help prevent falls from happening.
Yeah. And Kelly, I want to clarify, when we say age friendly, we're not talking old friendly, right? I mean, that's what Kayla was saying. It's about because any age can fall.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So tell me about how a community can become age friendly. What would we need to look for?
Yeah.
You go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, yeah. So, essentially, an age-friendly community can include like safe pedestrian crossing. So that is applicable to all ages. And that given the adequate time for pedestrians as well. Green spaces that offer different seating options and shade structures or canopies that are available. Buildings also to create more accessible spaces and entrances, and as well as signs to direct patrons to elevators, ramps, and have non-slippery floors. Yeah, so those are just a few examples to, I guess, watch out for when you're thinking about age-friendly communities.
So, as we're moving forward and this is becoming more of a focus, what's happening in Grey Bruce as far as counties, municipalities, or even local businesses to make our community age-friendly?
Yeah. So we're starting to see more motion in this area, more focus on age-friendly communities. Hanover was kind of the first in our area to really get moving and start the ball rolling on age-friendly communities. So they've had a strategy for, I want to say, almost a decade at this point in time, might even be longer than that. So they've done quite a bit of work in this field. They have a business recognition program where local businesses in Hanover do a self-assessment. They go through their space and they say whether their space is age-friendly or not. And if it's not, then they're to make a few changes to make it a more accessible space for patrons of all ages. And then they're recognized by the Hanover Age-Friendly Community Committee and are featured in newspapers. They get some publicity to put up on their windows to say that they're an age-friendly business.
Yeah.
So they've really been a leader within our community. Now, as for the counties, both Grey and Bruce counties have age-friendly committees and are working on implementing their age-friendly strategies and action plans. I know Grey County is kind of looking at what Hanover's done and wanting to hopefully expand throughout Grey County, and Bruce County is also working on some great work, specifically in the ageism an education campaign with regards to ageism. And then for the municipalities, there's the Seniors Community Grant Program. So there's quite a few different organizations that applied to those within the past year. So that was a grant that the Ontario government put out. And essentially it was to secure funds for programming for older adults to stay fit, active, healthy, and social within our communities. So I believe there were 5 or 6 different local organizations that applied and were successful in that. Some other successes is the Seniors Active Living Center here in Owen Sound. And then there's more and more of those age-friendly events being promoted. So I've seen a few. I know there was one recently in Thornbury. It was promoted as age-friendly. And essentially that just means that it's an event for all ages. It's been, maybe they've gone through a checklist that says that it's a little bit more accessible. They've considered a few more things than your standard event that they're hosting. As for local businesses, so there was 5 local businesses that have gone through that Hanover recognition program. And a part of that, actually, I did want to mention was the e-learning program that they have to do. So that's promoted through the Hanover recognition program, but it's a learning for the staff so that they understand different types of patrons that might come through the door and how to support them without being demeaning, and making sure that patrons come back, because ultimately that's what a business wants, right? They want to make their customers feel comfortable and wanting to come back to their space.
As far as seniors, Kelly, maybe you can fill me in a little bit. Why having age-friendly communities is important, we recognize, but it's also important because seniors don't do well. Most people don't do well with social isolation. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about the impact of isolation and how we address that, if there's other ways that you can think of that people might want to know about.
Yeah. So obviously, as older adults age, social isolation is a huge prevalence as families moving further away, and maybe friends are also not. The community is changing as well as friends are moving away, or they're losing their friends that they're used to seeing. Social isolation is definitely bound to happen. And that's why things like having like age-friendly communities and building those type of spaces is important, right? It allows the seniors to come together. It creates an environment for seniors to comfortably be there, knowing that they are thought of, it's accessible, and they can meet other people in their community that they've maybe not come across before, right? So I'll hand it over to Kayla to talk more about, I guess, certain resources or opportunities out there for seniors to combat social isolation and to put themselves out there more.
Excellent. And Kayla, just a heads up, we've probably got about a couple of minutes left in the program. So
I'll keep it succinct. So I just really wanted to highlight a few programs and services that we do have locally for anyone who might be feeling socially isolated or lonely, especially as we get into those winter months where, we might be in our homes a little bit more often. Maybe public transportation isn't available to the same extent. So the Adopt a Grandparent Pen Pal program is a really great one that I've just learned about myself through Home Community Support Services. It's where an older adult is linked up with a student and they can write letters back and forth talking about their day. Another tool is called a Warm Line service. So it's a telephone or online support service designed to provide emotional support, assistance, and resources to anyone who's feeling stressed, lonely, or having mild mental health issues. A few of them are called A Friendly Voice, A Hope in Me, and then there's also one that's specific for Indigenous women and their families called Bindigen's Talk for Healing Helpline. That provides support in 14 different languages for Indigenous women and their families.
excellent. So in the last little bit of the program, because I want to circle back to Fall Prevention Month, people want to learn more about fall prevention or any programs or resources, where would they go to look?
Yeah, fallpreventionmonth.ca
Yeah,
is kind of, it makes it easy to remember. Yeah, so they've got resources for the public regarding older adult falls or childhood falls, and they also have resources for healthcare providers. So if you're a healthcare provider, they've got some great resources on there as well.
excellent. I can't believe our time is up. It's gone so fast. It's been an absolute delight to speak to both of you about this. And certainly, I encourage you to come back again to tell us more about fall prevention and also programs for all ages here for our community here in Grey Bruce. Thank you both. And thank you to our viewing and listening audience today for joining us to learn more about programs and resources available to you and to your family. Take care, stay safe.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience.